Hello, this is Joe Sonona with Sonona Speaks Seminars, and this is Coffee Talk with the listing pros in real estate. And my guest this week is Charles Maione. How you doing from Douglas Elliman?
Very well, Joe. Hope you're doing well also. Thank you so much for having me on. Pleasure.
So, Charles, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, when you got into real estate, and what you're doing now.
Great. Yeah, 17 years practicing real estate. Did grow up in Jericho, but my father's family had a deli catering business in Flushing. So my older brother and I spent a lot of time behind the counter, uh, even in the 70s, definitely 80s and 90s. And I really believe that's where a lot of the people skills and being able to work with people directly comes from. So interesting upbringing.
Nice, very nice. So you're a lister. This is a listing show for new agents, seasoned agents, to learn a little bit about how and the professionals do it. So I want to ask you, what is your secret sauce to listing real estate?
Great question. Listing is the most important thing, at least to get your business moving. For me now, it's different over the years, doing this 17 years. For me, the main thing is the sphere of influence. The database of people that I've come to know, trust, work with, stay in touch with, whether it's 1 year, 15 years, is to stay in touch with them. And it's through different phases, whether it's quarterly market report mailings, a phone call, a text, touching base. That's where most of my business comes from now. A lot of newer agents will start with FISBOs and expires, and you can always do that throughout your career. But it's about 10, at least 10%, or I should say 70% of the top 10% get their business from past customers and clients. So,
So what would happen with a new agent coming into the business? How would a new agent generate leads? And what advice could you offer to a new agent coming
right,
into the business?
right. When I started, I think back again, we didn't have the technology years ago that we do now. Um, Mailings are still a very effective way to get business. I can even remember when other agents in my office would sell houses and I hadn't sold any yet. You could take that property, make a flyer, send out 1,000 pieces, marketing yourself, marketing that the property's just sold. You have buyers looking in the area and you can generate business that way. For a new agent today, and I know, we're a little bit older, most of the agents coming in the business now are in the younger generation. Social media is a tremendous, tremendous way for them to gain traction through their sphere and let people know that they're in the business. And using techniques like messaging them, the different ways of communicating through social media, I feel gives them a great footprint to get their name out there and to generate business that way.
Awesome. And you've been around for 17 years. Oh my God, I remember when you started. I remember, I think it was one of the first listings I ever showed in Lynbrook, where you sell a lot of properties there, and I know that for a fact because I watch you around on social media as well. But you now being 17 years in the business and me being in the business 31 years, I can't believe I'm saying that again. Um, what advice would you give to someone older in the business if you were, looking at them and you could give them advice? What advice would you offer for them?
Right. Not to be complacent. If you're looking to grow your business after a period of time, you can kind of flatline a little bit and stay in that same place. It's really two things. It's increasing your activity. But what I've learned after 17 years, I'm sure you have after 31, is to work smarter more so than harder. Doesn't mean that you're getting soft and not putting the effort in and doing the activities, but you work smarter and you work to leverage more. And I believe you need to make your existing relationships even deeper. And listen, we're in COVID because we can't get together like we could, but more touches with those people that you're close with. People that are in the business as long as us definitely have at least a dozen, probably 50 really close A type cheerleader clients, people that they know they can rely on or have a great rapport with. What I've been working to do is make those relationships even stronger and deeper. And they're already we're already in their minds as someone to reach out to for real estate. But I feel if you make more touches, have more conversations, make more connections with those key people, that can just alone exponentially grow your business. Another 2 deals, 5 deals, whatever it might be. So
Do you
that's the
think
one.
that older agents um, treat younger agents in the business or newer agents in the business fairly? Do you think that there's a disconnect between those two? I know I threw you off with that
Yeah,
question, but I
that's a great question, actually. And now because I consider myself in the middle, meaning God bless you, I'm not 31 years like yourself.
we're
I don't.
still young. Look, you
Yeah,
and I. Look, my beard is darker than yours.
listen, I'm gonna be 50, Joe, and I've never grown a beard before. I says
Nice,
let me
nice.
give it a shot. I
50 is nifty.
yeah, right, nifty. I see that remembering back when I got in the business, yeah, some agents would kind of realize, okay, this guy's wet behind the ears, doesn't know what he's doing, and they know there's an angle where not to take advantage, but I know my skills are above this person's. They
Right,
don't know the things that I know about the business. So there is some of that. But I also do find that many veteran agents are there with both hands looking to lift and help other realtors up because there's that old phrase that anyone on this earth always needs to remember is don't forget where you came from.
right.
And I don't care if you're making $1 million today, 100,000, whatever it is, everyone starts at zero, no matter who you are. So I believe there's some of that, but less of it than I remember from being in the business.
How has COVID changed your business?
Yeah, like everyone, it's changed it tremendously. I can remember in May, I put 5 houses into contract in May, and relating to the buyer, saying, look, here's the seller's phone number. You're going to FaceTime them. They're going to walk you through the house, and then we'll talk about it. And even myself saying that, it was strange.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you're putting the seller and the buyer together and made a match that way, and you don't know what's going to come out of the seller's mouth or what's going to come out of the buyer's mouth. It's crazy. I remember we had to close in a parking lot. We had to do a
Oh, yeah.
closing actually in the parking lot during the whole quarantine and couldn't go into the closing table. Even today, people are still freaked out, obviously, by it, and rightfully so. But how has it affected? I know the inventory is like super low where I am.
It's
Super low where you are.
yeah, it's very low. I mean, I've lived in Lynbrook 20 years. Available homes are in that high 30s to 40 range, which is less than 1/2% of the number of homes in the village, to give you some perspective.
What is the normal rate at this time of year for homes
At
in
at
Lynbrook?
this time of year, you'd be more at least 50s, could even be 60s. I mean, we've been in a low inventory market for a good 4 or 5 years. I
Yeah.
can remember doing open houses New Year's Eve, 16, 17, and it was crowded. A dozen plus people on New Year's Eve. I'll never forget that. But the two things that have changed most for me, and more so how I've had to adapt, my communication skills definitely have honed, sharpened, and become more aware of that because there's not as much face to face. You have to be more thoughtful on the phone, in particularly. Yes, while you're zooming and virtually speaking with people, that's the number one. Is the communication has the skill level of that has had to increase because I find many people are nervous, they're scared, they're uncertain. Even though they know the real estate process, they don't know this real estate process that we've had to deal with. So that in of itself has been a relearning, if you will, on how we have to interact with our clients and how we've had to pivot and shift because of that. And I think the agents who've continually done well, they've mastered that. It may have taken them a couple of weeks or a month once they got acclimated with COVID, but then they learned, okay,
Right.
this is how I have to communicate with my clients now.
And in your listings, as you know, like I do, I know you're doing it. Everything is personal protection equipment,
Correct.
signing the COVID documents, wearing gloves, carrying around a bottle of Purell, wearing a mask.
Two agents, yeah, having an agent
What
on
else do
and
you
an
do?
agent inside. Well, yeah, we have to. It's sometimes it's like owning a bakery or a deli. We literally have numbers printed to hand out to people, and we can get their phone number. Say, look, you can see there's 7 other people here. Here's a number for you. Take it back to your car, have a seat, uh, and I'll send you a text when you're the next person to come in.
Oh,
So
that's
we've had,
cool.
we've had to adapt on how we had to do it. And well, listen, people are
Oh no,
noticing
that's cool
that.
because I'm sitting there, I'm watching, I think it was a weekend, I think it was New Year's Eve weekend. I was watching 20 people outside of an open house. And then my buyers wanted to go out the weekend before that. And I was standing with them for about 15, 20 minutes outside of a house. I believe it was in Seaford or Wantor. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, why am I here? Standing online when I know that there's going to be about 10 offers presented. My buyer wasn't willing to pay the full price. And I'm sitting there going, why are we here? There's going to be people bidding. Oh, I just want to see the house. Well, did you
Yeah,
need me?
yeah. No, then you're in real estate. You're just driving people around.
Right, real estate. I like that.
But then you actually bring up a second good point is we have to be more efficient with our time because we can't do things the way we've been doing them. And we all know that everything's been delayed, whether it's closings, title searches, everything in between, things are
Yeah,
delayed. We have to be sharper with our time and not to be afraid to say to a client, look, like you said, there's already multiple offers on this house. Or if you're not willing to go, at least asking, if not over, it doesn't pay to be here in the rain, the snow, the cold weather. So we've just had to adjust and kind of pre-sell or pre-communicate, if that makes sense, because we can't just go through the old methods of, okay, I'll meet you at the house and we'll go take a look. It doesn't work like that anymore.
right.
But that system of our signs, when we have the sign on the door that says, must have mask in order to enter, and on the bottom it says, if there's a line more than several people, we have these little printed tickets, numbers 1 through 20, and we'll hand them out. And this way, if it's 15 minutes from now, I know that the person in the black Chevrolet has number 5 or whatever it might be. So,
Do you use any special technology to market your listings?
yeah, List Hub it's LISTHUB, has been a great website that allows the seller to see where the property is being marketed. It gives you weekly updates and tracking on views, clicks, which is very helpful. Again, I mentioned social media, but between having business pages on Facebook and Instagram, and now LinkedIn is becoming much more of a prominent player.
Right.
Social media is huge. If you're not marketing yourself as well as your clients' listings through stories and posts, you're missing the boat. Through the parents' pages, whether it's in Long Beach or Lynbrook, all the community pages, you have to be putting your properties there for people to see them. You're
And
missing
you
out.
never know who's watching, like this program. You never know who's watching. You never know who's commenting or where your next referral is going to be, right? And you and I pretty much do the same things. It's amazing. But I like your idea about the open house, the taking a number, waiting. I think that's excellent service that you're giving at your open houses. I didn't even think of that, and I thank you for sharing that on the program.
No, you're
I
welcome.
really do. That means a lot.
10% different is 90% better.
And listen, we're all working together. I was telling a fellow colleague of ours the other day, I said, we all need each other. We all need each other. We all feed off of the multiple listing, and we all need to cooperate a little bit better with each other. And I think that that's more of my, not that I never cooperated, but I think I want to
Right.
blow that up a little bit more in 2021. What are your goals for 2021?
For 2021, it's interesting. I would like to exceed what I did last year. I did have a very good year in 2020, but a goal of mine has been to get to 500 GCI, which I've never attained. I've made good strides towards it. So this is the year I'm really buckling down to do that. That would be a great achievement. But I to go back on your other point, your aura and the way you like to work, Joe, has always been in that collaborative aspect.
Mm.
And whether it's doing, videos like this and just reaching in, the longer you're in the business, I know this is one of the things you love about this business. The longer you're in it, the relationships you make with the agents that you've known for 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years, it's even better than it was
That's why
before.
you're here.
I appreciate that.
In full disclosure to the audience, Charles and I are friends. We talk once in a blue moon, but when we do, we pick up right from where we left off. And I think where we left off was, I don't want to say how many years ago, but
Yeah.
but look how we get along and look how we collaborate when we do try to find our paths to a deal together. Whether you're the listing agent or I'm the selling agent or vice versa. There'll always be a door open, for agents to collaborate, to work together, and to make sure that we're not clobbering over each other. And that's what I have found in the last couple of months alone, with the high end buying and
Yes.
the buyers all putting multiple offers. And then what's going to happen. A friend of mine told me this the other day. There's going to be a buyer's market where we're going to have too much inventory, and we're going to pray that the gods above come and give us a seller's market again. And then what's going to happen? We're going to remember all the people that didn't play nice in the sandbox with us.
The pendulum comes back. It does.
Right. I mean, it always does. One of the questions I ask guests on the show is, what are their favorites? If you had to pick between one of the fiduciary duties of our business, obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accountability, reasonable care, which one would you, Charles Maione, pick and why? I know they're all important, but which one would
They
you
are.
pick and why?
They are. I would have to go with loyalty. And the reason I say that is we're in a very transactional business, fortunately and unfortunately, maybe. But we need to keep in mind that it's really a relationship driven business. And strong relationships breed loyalty. It's a common byproduct of it. So you can go through the motions and do everything properly and with care and diligence and obedience and all the proper things. But the human element where loyalty comes in, and the way I like to explain it is people choose you because you're you,
Right.
plain and simple. I've been on listing appointments where I've thought I said all the right things, done all things the right way, but maybe the connection just wasn't there. And that's when loyalty starts, right on the listing consultation. So for me, the loyalty rings true because that's something that pervades
Do
all the
you
way.
ask your sellers for loyalty? Do you say, "Hey, I'm giving you my loyalty. I expect it back"? Do you actually have the
I've used the
gumption to
word.
ask?
I've used that word or other words. I've used the words fiduciary. I'll definitely use that word. But where there's a common connection and bond. I use the word bond a lot, where we're bound to each other. That's really what this is. It's a loyal bond to each other. You're relying on me, and I'm relying on you. We're linking arms, and we're walking through the minefield together. And I kind of joke. I say I lead a little bit ahead because I don't want you to blow up. I know where to guide you. But that loyalty to me means everything because when I look back and I'm doing deals in 2020 and already in 2021 with people that I worked with when they weren't married or didn't have kids or whatever their life situation is. And I'm working with them again now. And just like how you and I headed off and how we get together and we can be on a Zoom call without speaking and there's that bond, that to me is the most rewarding part of real estate.
How many generations are you serving now, as opposed to when you started? I'm just curious because I'll
Yeah,
tell you. I'll tell you
after
what I did.
17 years, I don't think it's been to three yet. At least two with several. A couple are close to three. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on my third. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm serving three generations already. Sadly enough, my first generation of clients, most of them have passed away, moved away, and it's sad to see that because those are the people that really built your business up, and
Sure.
then they referred them your children, and then now the grandchildren. It's just I'm blown away by that because I'm like, oh my God, I remember you when you were a little baby. I don't remember you weren't even born yet. And then I have to tell them stories about their grandparents. That's the best part, and it is a relationship that we built up through the years. And it's if I had to uh, really sum up that feeling that we are experiencing, I would go back to that quote from Frank Capra that was just on in Christmas. It's been a wonderful life so far in real estate, and it continues to be. That's why I'm still here. I just love it. It's in both of our bloods, real
Yeah.
estate. We eat, breathe, and how many times a day does your phone blow up? How many times with listings? How many people, trust
Yeah.
us?
Thank God phone plans have been unlimited for a long time, Joe.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Well, this has been really great. It's been a treat to have you here on the show finally.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
we started off our 2021 in January with some big names, and you're one of our big names for January of 2021 to start off our new year with a little bit more of a happy tone, coming into a new era. And I'm really happy that you were here. Any last minute thoughts?
Just keep your confidence up. People can smell when you have confidence or not. And especially in these uncertain times, you need to live by that. One of my favorite phrases is they believe when you believe.
True.
So if you believe, they will follow you. And if you don't, they won't.
True. Well, regards to your family, have a very good new year, a very prosperous year. I hope you hit that 500 GCI and come back and tell us.
That's what I'm looking to do.
But be careful, I might hit you up for a loan.
I, now we help each other, but the same to you and your family. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Joe Sonona with Sonona Speak Seminars. This has been a very, very good coffee talk with Charles Maione of Douglas Elliman Real Estate. Thank you, Charles, for being my guest this week.
Happy New
Take
Year.
care. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.